Welcome to The Walking Trophy. The Walking Trophy is a podcast for high-level entrepreneurs and performers who know they were built for more. On this podcast, we explore how movement, fitness, and embodied discipline sharpen your leadership, regulate your nervous system, and expand your capacity to create, serve, and lead at the highest level. Through conversations on performance, energetics, and purpose-driven success, this show reframes the body as your greatest asset for sustainable power, abundance, and impact. Welcome to The Walking Trophy.
Welcome back to another episode of The Walking Trophy. This idea for this episode just fully landed into my brain about 5 minutes ago, and I had to hop on the mic and reply to this or record this right away because I'm having a conversation in one of the coaching spaces that I am in. So this is a mentorship that I am in. So I am the mentee, if you will. And I asked the women inside because all of them are very much this ideal client, the woman very aligned with the mission that I'm leading, the woman that sees herself as larger than life and wants to create this incredible body of work and wants her name up in lights and really wants to create a massive impact on the world around her. You know, like the people I love to speak to, the people I love to be around. So I decided, I should ask them, I should talk to them to make sure that everything I'm creating is really in alignment with and in service of the women that I really want to help and whose lives I want to change. And so what started as a very simple question ended up transpiring into this conversation that is so important because I've had multiple people actually over the course of the last month. I had one woman ask me this when I was in London and we were in a retreat together in the English countryside. I had this woman bring it up in the mentorship just now. And I've had a couple women message me over the course of the last few months. And they've asked me all the same question. And I think it is time to publicly address this because one thing that is so important to me is I want fitness to be inclusive in every sense of the word. I want fitness to be something that every single person, no matter where they're at in life right now, views as attainable, views as something that they can fit into their lifestyle. And should they choose, which obviously I'm all about, they allow that to become a piece of their identity because it just has so many incredible benefits besides just the physique. And that's exactly what we're getting into today. Every single one of these women has come up to me and they've asked me, is your program only for women who are already well versed in the gym? Do you only coach women who are already a self-proclaimed expert that are already very knowledgeable about how to use the gym? Or can this be for beginners too? And it's so funny when you talk to a business coach, they ask, like maybe I'm not your ideal client, but do you think that this is something that I would still benefit from? I had somebody comment that on a TikTok I made. And so I realized that something that I want to work on really expressing in a more coherent way, making sure that this message is really getting across, is that the concept of body-based scaling, of growing your business with your body, leveraging your body to help you create an asset that is experienced globally, that helps you become a household name, the fitness aspect of all of this, that you can become a winner, you can train to be a winner through your fitness. It actually doesn't matter what level you are starting from. It doesn't matter where you are coming from in this journey. And I feel like I need to reiterate that. It doesn't matter where you're starting. It doesn't matter. Anybody can become and identify as a winner from following this process because it has nothing to do with your starting point. It doesn't even have to do with your ending point. Ooh, that's a hot take. Maybe that's a podcast episode. The point of body-based scaling, the point of training like an athlete, the point of identifying as a winner actually has nothing to do with the things that you can physically do at the gym. If Joe Schmo over here can run 100 miles, not 100 miles, 100 meter, if Joe Schmo can run 100 meter sprints and then go do a 300% body weight squat afterwards, amazing. Joe Schmo can train to be a winner. But if Silly Sally over here, I don't know where these names are coming from. If Silly Sally over here is working on perfecting her goblet squat because she's just getting into weight training, or maybe she's coming off of a knee injury, or maybe she's had back pain for a while and she needs a little bit more of a rehabilitation focus, she too gets to experience the beautiful journey of training like an athlete to identify as a winner to become a globally recognized name. It doesn't actually matter the physical movements that you're doing. And that's the beautiful part of fitness being so individualized. It's never actually, you becoming a healthier version of yourself has never actually been about the specific movements you're doing in the gym. It's always been about the person who does it. Now let's create this differentiation here. It doesn't matter if you're doing a leg day, an upper body day, a shoulders and abs day, a cardio day, or if you're doing 4 full body weight circuits, 2 days of boxing and a day of hot yoga. None of that matters. None of that shit matters. That actually just comes down to individual preference. Those factors only matter depending on what's going to actually allow you to enjoy your experience at the gym, okay? So it's not the movements that make the difference. It's not the movements that make the person. Let's just be so clear about that. What makes the person become the winner, what makes the person embody the identity of the champion, is the person whose alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and they don't press snooze and they get right up and they walk their little butt to the bathroom, they brush their teeth, they throw their gym clothes on and they drive there. It's dark outside, they're yawning, but they throw on their pre-gym hype playlist because they know energetically they want to get into the state to go train. Once they pull up to the gym, they're not dragging ass to walk through the doors. They are walking in there with intention and with purpose because, especially when you do body-based scaling, we actually have an entire pre-workout routine that you get into mentally, that you get into from a very somatic perspective. But neither here nor there. Once you walk through the doors, you're there for a job. You're there to train and you're there to give it your fucking best. And then while you're there, whether again, you have the 100-meter sprints and the PRs on your squat, or whether you have the body weight circuit and the incline walk on the treadmill because that's all your back or your knees can take right now. The intention in the workout is the part that matters, the effort that you give it, the mentality that you give it. When you feel like you are going to throw up from the sprints, or when you feel like you're going to give out because that circuit is the hardest you've worked out in 10 years, both of those are mental challenges. Both of those are moments where you're coming against your own demons. You're coming up against your own desire to potentially quit or your own willpower to persist forward. Because it's never been about the movements. It's never been about the exercise. The whole point of learning to identify as a winner, to train like an athlete, to become the version of yourself that has the goals, the one that has achieved what she wants to achieve, that has lived out the vision that she sees for herself. The whole point of walking into the gym and training your body to become this woman is to build the characteristics of her. It's to build the characteristics. It's to build the woman that is able to stay disciplined. It is to build the woman that rises up in the face of challenge. It is to become the woman who pushes to her edge when she doesn't feel like she has it in her to give that much. It is about the woman that shows up come hell or high water. It is about the woman that takes her recovery just as seriously as her training. It is about the woman that goes home and eats the foods that she knows are going to support her and her best energy and her best efforts and her best cognition. It is about the woman that chooses to respond with leadership as opposed to a disorganized, chaotic mind. It is about the human being that you are training in the gym. It is not about the workout. It is not about the body part. It is not about the workout split. It is about the human. That is the power of training your body in tandem with your business, in tandem with your life. I don't care if you own a business, if you're listening to this or not. If you're anybody that wants to achieve anything, you want to become the best version of yourself. You want to become the best wife, become the best husband, become the best brother, sister, parent, friend. I don't care. If you want to become a version of yourself that you're so fucking proud of, that you're so loyal to, and that you respect on such a deep level, these are all qualities that you build when training your body to persist. Because resilience is a beautiful quality. Resilience is a right, I believe, of the human experience because everybody's going to face shit. Everybody's going to face resistance. Everybody's going to face stickiness and challenge and obstacles. And resilience is your ability to overcome them and see the other beautiful side that has the rainbow waiting at the end. And then to keep doing that over and over and over again and to actually fall in love with the process of overcoming the challenge instead of only relying on the rainbow to show up. And that's what working out teaches us. Because sure, maybe our body changes and we get a great physique. Maybe our mental health gets a lot better, which it certainly does. Maybe our stress levels go down. But the big thing that we get from these workouts, especially when we intentionally create the experience around it, which again is part of body-based scaling, is the pre-workout and the post-workout routine. It's the pre-workout preparation and it's the post-workout integration that create this true body of work around allowing your workouts to not just be a workout, but to be a true somatic facilitation of the identity of the person you're becoming. But when you consistently show up for yourself in these environments and you make the decisions that puts your highest self forward, as opposed to the self that wants to avoid moving forward, or the self that wants to sabotage you a little bit, or the self that wants to lean into the comfort as opposed to the discomfort, is you become somebody that's able to be more level-headed through chaotic times. You become somebody that's more confident when you find your back up against a wall and you need to make difficult decisions. And you become somebody that is able to navigate any level of challenge at a higher level. Because if you're used to needing to get through the last 20 seconds of that circuit and it's so damn hard, but you consistently push through anyway. And every single time you finish the workout, you get through that 20 seconds, you look back and you go, oh, okay, I survived again. It didn't kill me. I made it again. I'm a survivor. What this teaches you is that when you're facing the shit and the resistance and the pain, oh my God, the pain and the discomfort, when you're in that moment and you think everything's falling apart and you don't know if you have it in you to continue forward, you keep building the muscle of, nope, I am actually capable of surviving this. I am capable of getting through it. I am capable of seeing the other side of this. And so what I'm learning, what I'm literally flexing, when I'm teaching my body is that even when I'm faced with what seems like the world's most difficult challenge, and when it seems like it's the only thing on my mind, because I promise when you're in these moments, you're not thinking about anything except for the workout in front of you, the workout that you're doing. You're not thinking about nothing else. You're not thinking about your to-do list or the laundry or the thing you need to pick up. You are thinking how I'm going to finish these mountain climbers for the next 20 seconds. That's it. That's all that's on your mind. It is another form of radical presence, which is another benefit. But when you're in that moment, you're teaching yourself that even when it feels like the world is ending and you don't know how you're going to get through it, you get through it every single time. And so when you're in a difficult conversation with a coworker or a client or a coach or a mentor and it gets uncomfortable, maybe before the red flags would have flown up inside of you going, oh my God, abort mission. I can't do this. This is too uncomfortable. Get me out of here. And you would have failed the leadership in that moment because you would have chosen to give in to the feeling of discomfort. But maybe now you can lead a difficult conversation with a higher degree of confidence because you know that discomfort is not necessarily the enemy. Sometimes you know that discomfort is actually the most necessary thing you need to experience in order to get to the other side. Or maybe you're in a season of business where, for the life of you, you don't understand why things seemingly are crumbling around you. You have clients defaulting on payments. You have clients not re-signing. You notice that your leads are not coming in as quickly. You notice that people are not converting from your lead generation. You're wondering what the hell's going on. It's so uncomfortable. It's so sticky. And there's so much stress. Oh my God. Oh my God, is that so stressful? But because you've trained the system into your body that when I face this feeling of extreme discomfort or stress, I am actually fully capable every single time of winning the situation. You know that it's not, oh my gosh, discomfort, okay, throwing in my white or waving my white flag, get me out of here. You know that all it requires is to just persist. You know that all this means you have to do is to keep on chugging along. And that when it gets uncomfortable, typically the really great growth is like right on the other side of that. So it just is a signal to your body instead of quitting. You feel that in your body and you go, oh, I know this feeling. This is what I do, or this is how I feel when I know I need to continue because the really great solution is right on the other side of this. And so this really difficult season in your business that could have potentially mentally just wiped you out before. Well, now you know that that's not necessarily a signal that something is going wrong. Maybe it's a signal that I just need to adjust how I am, behaving in the situation, or maybe I just need to continue with my head down and persist forward. It's not a signal to quit. It's a signal to continue. And this is where so many people get it twisted and where so many people find, breakdowns in their ability to lead is they feel stress, they feel discomfort, and they go, oh my gosh, I must be failing. I must be the worst. I should quit. I want to avoid this negative feeling. But workouts specifically leverage the ability to feel the bad feeling that you don't want to feel and to push through it anyway. And that's the quality of a champion and of a winner, because I dare you to go find a professional athlete that says, oh my gosh, training feels so good all the time. I love it so much. I'm always so happy and comfortable during my training. If a professional athlete says that, no, they didn't. They're lying. Because nobody's getting to the top level in any sport by being comfortable getting there. That's ludicrous. Ludicrous. And none of them want to experience that because they know that comfort is not the emotion that they seek. It's not the feeling that they seek. And so the point of saying this is that if you want to become the winner, the champion, the gold medal Olympian of your industry, of your life, then learning to create the tools, learning to create the wiring in your brain, learning to create the physical response of I'm feeling stress, resistance, stickiness, challenge, whatever you want to, whatever word fits there. I'm feeling this and I trust myself to get through this. I'm feeling this and I know that this is actually a good sign because it means the change is on the other side of this. I'm feeling this and I'm actually 100% confident that this doesn't mean I should quit. It means I should persist because this is part of the journey of getting better and of growing. And full circle back to why I'm saying this is because it was never about the modality. It was never about the type of exercises that you're doing. It was always about the woman you were becoming in the process, the human being, the behaviors, the mindset wiring, and the thought process of the person that is executing the task in front of them. So sure, you could be a professional athlete, or you could be somebody that hasn't worked out in 20 years. The same rules apply. Now, where I start to argue that we can get really specific is when you are aware of what you're training for and we train those qualities into your body. And that's again where the body-based scaling comes in. It's like, okay, well, if you're in a sprint season, then let's teach your body how to move fast. If you're in a stamina season, then let's teach your body how to sustain activity for an extended period of time. If you're in a momentum season, okay, let's teach your body how to keep moving with minimal rest. There are qualities we can train into your body depending on what season of life you're in. It can get specific in that way. But again, we're training the quality. There are 17,000 ways to Sunday that you can train that quality into your body. It doesn't matter if it's body weight or if it's under heavy weight or if it's on track sprinting or maybe if it's on a seated bike. It doesn't matter. If it's a challenge for you and it trains the adaptation that you want to see from a behavioral perspective, from a physiological perspective, from a mental perspective, then boom, you are officially leveraging body-based scaling to create the life that you desire. So no, this is not some elite protocol that only a few can qualify for. This is an unbelievably inclusive experience. And the reason I want to make this so clear is because I genuinely believe that this is the system, this is the methodology, this is the secret sauce here for helping women step into their power. And when a powerful woman is not only aware that she's powerful, but is able to follow through and act on her power confidently, that is the type of change that creates a wave of change in the world. This is the effect that allows women to truly step into their role that we deserve from a societal level. It is that deep. It is that deep. Because a woman who's powerful and knows it is able to create the feminine energy, the feminine experience that we so desperately need in this world right now. And I don't care what your fitness level is. We can always work on improving that or creating a parallel to where you want it to be in terms of where your life is going. We can always train your wellness to be better. We can always train your energy to be higher. We can always train your mental performance to be even keener. But what I really, really want you to understand is that this is not something that's only for the few. This is something that is for the many. You just have to be willing to go through the process. And that's where the greatest weeding out of it all comes. So some people are going to be ready to step into this winning mentality. Some people are immediately going to be ready to hit the ground running and say, push me, coach, call me a little bitch, call me out on my shit. I don't care. I want to go to the freaking moon. Now train me there. And some people are going to say, hey, I really want to be a winner. I don't know how to do that. Help me. And as long as you're willing and able to create the discomfort and persist through it, as long as you're willing and able to be someone that shows up for yourself and to embrace discipline, those are the qualities of someone that is able to utilize this process. It is not a physical capability, it is a mental desire and a mental capacity. And if you don't have the capacity, then that's exactly what we're going to be training. So anybody that dreams of a life that is that is beyond what we see as reasonable or logical, the larger than life experience, those dreamers, those visionaries, every single one of them, regardless of where they are right now in their physical health, has a seat at this table because they are somebody that is going to so greatly benefit from understanding the true power that they have in their body and in their mind. I am so grateful that you decided to tune into this episode with me today. This is very near and dear to my heart. It's a conversation I've had with too many people to just leave this as a private conversation. I wanted to bring this forward because I imagine if some people have asked me, there's got to be others that are thinking it too. So I hope you were able to get some clarity on this. I hope you're understanding that this system, this process, this method, it's for everybody. Is for everybody. Nobody should be counting themselves out because they don't think that they're fit enough. That's so silly. Why do you think we train? It is to help you get fitter. So I hope you found value in this episode. Please don't forget to like it and rate it 5 stars. Leave me a comment if you found this useful. And for all of my girlies that are still with me right now, that have listened all the way through to the end of this episode, boy, do I have a surprise for you. I officially launched Game Day today. Monday, February 9th, I launched Game Day. Game Day is a program that is very near and dear to my heart. It is 3 months long, and I am helping women just like you, just like I described in this episode, create a game day in their business, a big, stretchy, scary game day. Like the goal they thought they'd complete by the end of 2026. Yeah, we're attacking that in the next 3 months. And you're going to set that game day to happen at the end of this program, and you're going to get customized workouts, nutrition, to coaching, winning mentality, winning systems, and somatic facilitation to create superpowers in your body throughout the entire 3 months of this program. If you are listening to this before February 18th, the program is currently on a founder's access pre-sale. You are going to get the program for about 50% off. The program at full price is going to be $1,500, and right now it is $888 at that founder's access pre-sale. The link to join will be in the podcast show notes. So you can click there or you can message me on Instagram at caitlin.pennell. I did change my handle if anybody wasn't aware. It is at caitlin.pennell. That will also be in the show notes if you need the spelling for that. And you can just DM me the word game day and I will send you all of the details to sign up and get that founder's access. Just make sure you reach out to me before the 18th of February. I'm so excited. Everything I talked about in this episode is exactly what we are going to be training into your body. So if you were interested in finally getting involved in the winning system and creating a hell of a Q2 for 2026, then go ahead, get involved. I'm so excited to have you. Obviously, all levels. This is available to all levels. If you have any concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And other than that, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being here.